Hey everyone, Steven here from Strangely Awesome. I'm starting a new series on our YouTube channel where I'm going to go through and analyze various streaming services, games, movies, books, kind of deciding is it worth your time, your money, your energy, all of that. Hey, we live in a world where, you should probably feel it, I know I do, where it seems like you can't step out of the house without spending some money, right? And of course, there's thousands of things vying for your time. Um, Streaming services asking for your monthly subscription, games nowadays with battle passes, having to purchase to buy in. I mean, even cars, some of them like with the special features. So all of it in this capitalistic hellscape we are in is trying to take your money or trying to take your time. So I thought it'd be, in interest with what we're doing here to kind of go through and look at all of these various things and decide if it's worth giving it your money or your time. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. So I hope you'll join me on this adventure. And if there's something you'd like to see me talk about, please feel free to leave a comment. And like and subscribe always helps our channel. I decided to start this video by covering Peacock since Tyler and I just did a watch along for the WWE Evolution, which was very good. And you can watch and throw up the YouTube video and listen to our commentary on it. If you would like. But I figured Peacock would be a good place to start because of that. So we'll start with, if you don't know, Peacock is NBC's streaming service. And there's two plans. There's the premium plan for $8 a month, so not crazy expensive. This one has ads. Or you can get the ad-free version except during live TV, basically. And even that is pretty limited, ads-wise. But the no ads version is $14 a month. It's a little cheaper if you buy it for the full year, as most streaming sites are. But you basically get 2 months free in either of these cases. But $8 a month, not the worst. It's easy, to talk yourself into it because you're like, all right, that's 1 or 2 cups of coffee. But all of this adds up. So we really want to analyze, okay, is this worth our $8 a month? So let's start with the actual web browser or the app itself. The app on the Xbox is where I use it. It looks very, very similar. It's pretty sleek, pretty easy to see a lot of what you can be watching. The different tabs, movies, TV shows, sports, and WWE, plus your stuff. And then if you want to add specific channels, if you pay, you can watch some of the like NBC channels here without extra pay. But I don't really utilize it for that. But if you're really liking the live TV aspect, they have some channels. For instance, That 70s Show just plays That 70s Show. So I find this to be pretty useless, so we're just going to focus on these ones here at the top. So we'll start with WWE because that's what I mentioned early on. For those that don't know, or if you're kind of into wrestling, you probably are aware. Peacock is where you can watch all of the WWE premium live events with the subscription. And so you are able to see them live here on the app. It took over from WWE TV. I think outside of the States, Netflix is your go-to for that, but here in the States, it's Peacock. So you can see even like Saturday Night Main Event, which plays on live TV, can be watched here. So if you are a wrestling fan, it's almost immediately worth it if you want to watch the premium live events. You can watch past ones like Evolution that happened on last Sunday. Very, very good premium live event. Well worth your time. The women put on a great show. So highly, highly recommend. SummerSlam's coming up. 2-day event. So you can watch that for, I don't say for free because you're paying the $8, but if you are a wrestling fan, it is worth it just for that alone. Plus, you get every single, like it says, every SummerSlam ever, every pay-per-view that's ever aired, pretty much, minus some cuts. Plus a lot of, like, the old shows. So you can go back and watch Raw from, like, 1997. It is not the best organized here on Peacock. That is one problem with the app in the change from WWE TV, so that's a problem. But you can go back, like here is where you can see. Here's all the seasons of SmackDown, so you could go back and watch SmackDown from December 30th, 1999. Actually, again, terribly ordered because the first one was here on the 29th and the real first episode was here on the 26th. So again, it's in reverse order by date. I personally hate when streaming services do this, but that's how it goes. If you're not a big wrestling fan, but maybe you like sports, it's not a ton of options. Really, you're getting Peacock if you like basically two of the major sports, golf and Premier League soccer. You get a lot of Premier League games just by being subscribed to Peacock. So you can see all the games coming up here. This is part of the summer series. So, but later as we get into the actual season, if you are a fan of a smaller club, this is great for that because they're going to be on here 90% of the time. The bigger clubs, the one that they want to put on live TV, tend to not appear here as often live, so you do need a separate like subscription or live TV service to watch. Like Arsenal, as they've gotten better and started challenging for the Premier League to win, they don't appear live on here as often, but you can watch replays. It's like a day later, so if you don't mind having a little bit of patience, or don't care if you know the score and still watching the game. So soccer's great here on Peacock. Obviously, you can watch the Open live with that service, so if you're a big fan of golf. These other ones, I mean, if you like the Tour de France and want to check in, you can do that. Cycling. There is good Olympic coverage here, obviously, with NBC, so you can see a lot of sports, and it's pretty well organized for what you're doing, and it includes all the stuff going into the Olympics as well, like the qualifying. So if you like the Olympic sports, it's a great way to watch. Don't get fooled by some of this. Like, baseball really only has highlights and some extra, basically documentaries. NFL, though, is looking like they're showing some live games, specifically some of the Sunday Night Football games that are covered by NBC. So if you're a football fan and you don't mind missing some games, it could be an option. But, of course, some of us won't be into sports and wrestling, and so this is where it becomes a little less, not worth, maybe. It really depends what you like. So I kind of made a playlist of kind of some of the big stuff. So obviously, they got some big movies. Wicked was one of the Best Picture nominees from last year on here, massive movie. Oppenheimer, Best Picture from 2023 on here. So, not bad. They got the entire Jurassic Park series, so if you want to catch up with Jurassic World Rebirth, which, go see our thoughts on that, and whether that's worth your time. Spoiler, it's not. But you can watch all the Jurassic Park movies here. Also, all the John Wicks, including the Continental TV show. Or 3-part event. They're basically the feature-length films, or almost. But that's here. So if you're a big John Wick fan, you can catch them here. So we would assume Ballerina will be coming to stream. Jaws, the 50th anniversary, and a lot of the sequels. They got the Harry Potters, and then when it comes to TV, they have all of the NBC shows. I didn't add all of them here. We can see them here if we go to comedy. See, it keeps sliding, so it's not the best, but it's not horrible. A lot of decent comedy shows. Everybody Hates Chris, Psych, phenomenal show, 30 Rock, basically every NBC show, plus the Ted series, that's Peacock original. Twisted Metal as well, which is having a new season coming later, if you're into that. So, as you can see, it's not a ton of stuff, but there's some big movies. If you have kids, there's a ton of family films here. Basically the entirety of like the Illumination and DreamWorks movies. So there's a lot to watch for your kids that are pretty big movies. Like The Bad Guys and then all of the Shreks. So there's a good amount of stuff here. It really depends on what you want. They got some big movies, but it's not going to be your like Netflix where you're kind of looking for a lot of maybe new movies. Though they do usually have one or two big new movies that are worth checking out. And then they have a lot of like older movies as well. They only have the one Mission Impossible. They do have all the Fast and the Furious. So, you can see Rambo, Dante's Peak, Twister, even the great Street Fighter here. So it really depends what you want. They got a good amount of comedies, though. Couples Retreat, Role Models, Talladega Nights. A lot of good stuff there. One of the things I love about Peacock is that on a lot of movies, especially newer ones, it tells you what the Rotten Tomatoes score is, which just can help us save our time if something's worth watching, like this movie, The Drop, which was that horror movie about airdropping, has decent scores on Rotten Tomatoes, so can be worth checking out. I haven't watched it, but this is just a good indicator of like, hey, this might be worth my time. So you're not wasting time searching like, what am I gonna watch today? So finally, like, is it worth it? If you are a wrestling fan, $8 a month, absolutely. You don't miss anything either, because WWE, even with the ads, like you're gonna see ads during the premium live event, but they're doing basically just recaps of stories that they've already shown 50 times during that portion, not missing much. If you're a big soccer fan, especially English soccer or golf, or the Olympics, like you like the Olympics, might be worth keeping it for basically ever. I know a lot of us are terrible at canceling these sorts of things. If you're not into either of those two things, it really depends on how much you want those comfort comedies that most people are fans of. If you are one to throw on The Office just pretty much always and have it on TV, it's a great place for that, and you have all of those shows: The Office, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, Modern Family, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, New Girl, Superstore. Those are great shows. Even St. Dennis Medical, watched the whole first season. I very much enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. So if you're into that, worth it. If you're looking for just movies, if you don't really like the family movies, then I would say probably not. Might be worth, if there's a few movies on the list of things I showed that you'd want to watch, signing up for a month, watching, Wicked, all of the John Wicks, watching Jaws 50th anniversary, and then maybe canceling it. But I say overall, for me, because of the wrestling and sports aspect, because I'm a big soccer fan, I find Peacock to be my favorite streaming service, usually, where I don't feel bad about paying that $15 because I get a lot out of it. Obviously, everyone's a little different, but I really do find Peacock to be worth the money. So yeah, thank you for joining me on my first episode of Is It Worth It? Well, we won't just be covering the streaming services. We'll be covering, like I said, books, movies, TV, video games, battle passes, things like that. And there's room for a lot of things. I mean, everything, as I mentioned earlier, everything costs money. So everything is eligible to be on this show. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around. If you've made it this far, please, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment letting me know what you would like to have me analyze. And yeah, hope to see you on the next episode. Goodbye.